But for those occupying lower ground, the realities of the country's flaws were far too much to ignore. Fox became the first major network to specifically appeal to the Gen X attitude of cynicism and irreverence, the very same themes featured in the works of Matt Groening. In 1986, Groening got a call from James L. Brooks offering the opportunity of a lifetime. The Fox network was looking for a cartoon segment to air on the debuting Tracey Ullman show. Unwilling to give up the rights to Life in Hell, Groening conceived of a different premise, a family based on himself, his parents, and his two younger sisters. The Simpsons entered the fray among a long lineage of American television families, and soon, people would come to realize that they were not at all like their predecessors.
Shut up!
The Simpsons represented an honest portrayal of dysfunction in the American household. Viewers were immediately drawn to the Yellow family's relatable drama, and the segment quickly became one of the most popular on Tracey Ullman. By 1989, The Simpsons had become so popular that they were upgraded from segment to series, and so began one of the most influential television programs in the history of American entertainment. It's remarkable just how different The Simpsons was than anything else on television at the time. It was edgy, subversive counterculture from an underground artist. The show was experimental, avant-garde, and even postmodern at times. It was the first mainstream show to repeatedly reference and parody other media, relying on the audience's own knowledge of movies and TV for much of its humor. The show was free to determine its own creative direction without network interference, a liberty that was virtually unheard of in 1989. Not to mention that the series was animated, a genre that for the past 2 decades was exclusively associated with children, toys, and breakfast cereal. The Simpsons broke so many molds that it's almost preposterous to consider a show this brazen airing on network television in prime time. The series essentially rebelled against all of mainstream television and ended up taking much of America with it. Season 1 debuted to an audience of 30 million people, immediately cementing itself as Fox's flagship series. The mischievous Bart Simpson became a cultural icon, one of the first characters to truly appeal to the slacker mentality of the 90s. The character embodied the overall spirit of the show, defiant, unapologetic, and anti-authority. The series was simultaneously beloved and controversial. It was unafraid to challenge America's most revered institutions.
To make American families a lot more like the Waltons and a lot less like the Simpsons. Huh?
Hey, we're just like the Waltons. We're praying for an end to the Depression, too.
It's easy to imagine a TV show mocking the president now. It's all but cliché at this point. But in 1992, it was almost unthinkable. Much to the chagrin of President Bush, American TV families became much more like The Simpsons by the end of the decade.
These talking dinosaurs are more real than most real families on TV.
Eventually, audiences ended up resonating more with the yellow cartoon family than many of the others portrayed by real-life actors. The Simpsons didn't just challenge the status quo, it redefined the status quo in its own image. And while it began its run as the anti-sitcom, the show would eventually transform into something entirely different.